At the outset, I thank Almighty and my parents for this wonderful day. More than anything, I am very fortunate and honored to be present, particularly in St. Joseph's College. This is a great institution and produced one of the greatest personality like late Honorable Abdul Kalam. Thank you very much, Father Arun. Of course, it was rather difficult for me because I arrived this morning at 3 o'clock and I told you it is not possible that tomorrow morning again I have to leave. There are 3 reasons I couldn't refuse. One is that, Father, you said in your speech, the gratitude is very important value in our life. Whoever helped you in your life should never be forgotten. They should always be remembered. And because the gratitude I have for this institution and Jesuit fathers. Number 2, it always gives me pleasure to recall the memories I had in this beautiful college. And more than that, if I am standing before you on this day, it is because of the Jesuit fathers and particularly because of Father Kashmir Raj. I must say that you guys are really fortunate to get educated in the Jesuit institution. Because whatever I am doing in my business today, the value systems or the principles or the ethics, whatever you call it, it is because what I learned from Jesuit fathers and their institutions. So you should all be very proud that you're all here in Jim under the able guidance of Father Joe Arun. And of course, I know Father Pushparaj so well over a period of time. And my sincere thanks to Father Tamburaj, who is also known to our family, particularly to my mother, very well. And thanks to Mr. Dibesh, he is my technology head, All India. Probably you would have seen a beautiful video. He's also part of the team to have made this video. And of course, I should really appreciate the staff of this gym. And I only have to tell you, this is one of the greatest initiatives Father Joe Arun and his team have taken today. Encouraging entrepreneurs at the initial stage itself is the greatest thing which we can ever do it. During our days, we never had this opportunity. We had to learn many things on our own. But then you are all now given the opportunities to come out with something new and innovativeness. Today in this competitive world, you cannot be an entrepreneur unless you think different, unless you become different compared to other people. Which means you have to continuously consistent and be innovative in your approach. And so, I should congratulate the winners. Of course, it will be announced later. But then, I'm so happy to be with you to share my views. See, when I was sitting on the stage, I was just thinking, like many of you here, may be wondering, they are all talking about, of course, our Prime Minister has done a lot. It's a couple of years back. When I had the opportunity to speak alongside with the entire team from India in Hanover, Germany, about Make in India, he started his speech beautifully well. He said, I am unleashing the lions of India. And he said, in 2025, we will be the largest economy in this world. And I could see that being I'm traveling all over the world. In the last couple of years, the kind of confidence our Prime Minister and his team have created is really wonderful. What we require for the business climate and business atmosphere is the international confidence. So his concepts you would have heard: Make in India, Startup India, Skill India, Digital India, are all very, very innovative schemes. And in the opening talk he said, India has to do well in the future. It is because of the demand, demography, and also democracy. We have all the advantages to grow. What is required is, at the end of the day, is the efficiency of the implementing machinery. So dear friends, you are all in the right stage or right time of our country, because you would see in 20 years' time, the Make in India concept would come out with a lot of manufacturing units, a lot of employment opportunities, a lot of technology upgradation and so on. Because I visited China many times. In their GDP, more than 30%, almost 35% is contributed by manufacturing, whereas in India it is less than 14%. Unless we bring it up to more than 30%, we may not be able to give the employment to all the youths who are coming out of the colleges. So what is going on is the right thing in our country. You are also at the right time, and this program, this initiative of creating startup entrepreneurs at the college level itself is a wonderful opportunity for all of you. And this has to come from now. But then, my dear friends, you will always think, I come from a middle class family, I don't have a background, I don't have money, I don't have big circle of influential people around me. How is it possible to start a company and to make it successful? You see, I was born in a very small place. You might have heard Devagotai. I never thought I would become a businessman. And middle class in the sense, as father said, my father was a teacher, my father was a clerk in the court, and they were finding it very difficult to give us the required comfort. But the only thing is, my mother wanted all of us to get educated, and she was very, very adamant on that. In a small town, and about 12 children, 9 survived, and I still remember I never had even a chapel to wear till 6th standard to go to school, and we have to walk around in our hometown. So there was no economic background. But then, when I came to the first Jesuit institution, Dindigul St. Mary's, I started my 8th standard. And of course, I was in a board school. That time, you remember, you have to think that only 20 rupees hostel fees. And the food is normal. But we had to sacrifice a lot. But fathers taught us one thing, how to be self-confident. And that particular thing which came in me during the school days itself. But then when I came to St. Joseph's College for my pre-university and also for my graduation BCom, I could meet a lot of other students, mingle with them, and coming from a village, getting into Trichy was a big town for us. And rather, I used to wonder, father was telling I was an orator in Tamil, but my father and mother could not afford to give us the, more number of pants and shirts. So in order to go for our inter-collegiate debates, for me and my elder brother, I used to borrow pants and also shoe from my roommates or my SH hostel mates. And we used to wear this and go for the debates and come back. We tried to make some money. Those days sometimes we get the cash awards. And with that we had even paid our hostel fees. Thanks to Father Tagore, thanks to Father C.K. Swami, that time. And I still remember on the main gate, and I had to write my final exam. My elder brother was, I think he had to write his semester, his final exam. And that time we couldn't pay the exam fees. And Father C.K. Swami knew my mother very well. And she came with her Mangal Sutra, that is, you call it as Tali. And she told the father, this I am going to pledge it. Because all my 3 sons are here. Of course, my eldest son is in the Jesuit order. The other 2 sons have to complete their graduations. I would like to sell it, and because at any cost, these guys have to complete their graduation. I still remember whenever I walk into that streets, how my mother came, how she talked to Father C.K. Swami, and finally C.K. Swami said, he used to call her Akka, sister, don't do all this, you go back, let them write the exams, then you pay when you have the money. What kind of Jesuit priest we had. That's why I said in the beginning, I'm standing before you today, it is because of the Jesuit priests. And that is why I have so much of gratitude towards wherever I go to the Jesuit institutions. Whatever I can do, I keep doing it. It is out of love and affection and not out of compulsion. So, having done that, when I went to Loyola College, it was rather tough because for the first time, imagine, I'm visiting Chennai. I was not knowing Chennai much. The kind of difficulties I had to go through because, again, struggle in the family, not able to, Father Kashmiraj was my warden in the hostel. He gave me concessions in the hostel. And of course, when I was studying here in St. Joseph's College, I used to be always tough. I was into the union activities. Father C.K. Swami, he even suspended me for a couple of days. Opposite to the college, there used to be a tea shop. I was sleeping for a couple of days there because of all these activities. And then my parents had to come and compromise and so on. And so it was a little difficult for me to get an admission. Father Kashmiraj, my eldest brother, Father Alphonse, really requested him. And finally he gave admission for MCom. But then Father Kashmiraj said, see, you have to score very well. He said, not even rank. You have to score very well because relied on your parents and your brother, I have given this admission. And he was my marketing lecturer. I still remember his class. I used to take it beautifully because, and see, there are many people are teaching. Some people teach with great flowery languages. Some people, teach you with simple language, but then you are able to understand. Even today, there are certain marketing principles I remember because the way in which Father Kashmiraj used to teach me in Loyola College. So it was a fantastic experience. And then I really worked hard and I improved and I got a gold medal in MCom. Then I had to take care of the family and finally R.K. Swami gave me a lecturer's post and he said, you join the evening college and then you can take it up the day college later. So I was making some money. And you wouldn't believe, I had to teach in 3 schools and in 1 college in one day to make just 8,000 rupees to take care of my expenses. And also at that time my parents retired and I had taken a small house for 2,000 rupees on a rental, not even 2,000, 1,000 rupees on a rental basis near Pudupet. So I had to struggle a lot because Father Alphonse is not there, Father Melchior was in a different mission, another brother, and my sisters were waiting for the marriages and so many complications. And finally, I said, let me qualify myself to go to the next level. That's where I joined. Father Kashmiraj is the founder of LIBA. Again, he went out of the way, because those days, unless you have some practical experience, you cannot enter into the evening college MBA. That is a postgraduate diploma in management. And he went out of the way. He gave me that admission. And during my studies in LIBA, I happened to meet one of the guys from, one of the lecturers from docks, that is Portress, and he offered the employment in shipping, and I had to stay with him for 1 year. After that he resigned, then again back to normal. And that was the time I passed out my prelims and finals in UPSC, that is IAS and IPS exams. I scored a very good marks and I had to go only for my interview in Delhi. But by that time I had already started a small office which was blessed by Father Kashmiraj in 1984 with about 5 people, and I had an investment of 20,000 to start this company. You saw the video. Now, today, in 2020, we will become the largest logistics players in India. Now, why I am telling this? From the small beginning, seeing Chennai for the first time, without any economic background, without having any people influential around you, without having any connections, you wanted to survive only with, Father mentioned, the burning desire, the passion. Today I am standing before you, it is because of the killing instinct. When a tiger was chasing the deer, the man stood there, asked the tiger, "You're so fast, why can't you catch the tiger?" Deer. Said, "The deer is running for his life, whereas I am running for the food." In other words, the tiger was running for a purpose, whereas the deer was running for a goal. You should understand in your life, if you want to become an entrepreneur, what is the difference between the purpose and the goal? This is where the burning desire has to come. Anything I take, I will take it as a challenge. And every challenge is a change. And every change has no limits, and you have to challenge your own limits. The day you challenge your own limits, there is no limits in your life. This is what I have seen in my life. And when you overcome the challenges, your entire life becomes meaningful, which I have experienced today. So what you need to do is to have this instinct in you, or something Father Arun said, you keep on thinking. It doesn't have to be related to your studies, what you have studied. If you have done something in commerce, you don't have to become an accountant. If you have done something in engineering, you don't have to become a mechanical engineer or in a factory worker. You can something always different, what I can do. So don't ever think that from small thing, one by one, what I thought that, that's where I said the next step comes. What I have learned, experienced in my life. One is the burning desire. The second one is my goal. And then the strategies. And I made my roadmap, and for which I had the commitment. This is what you require. Many people do start, then on the way. See, what happens is that among Indians, there is always a feeling. When elephant is small, elephant is a very powerful animal. But what is happening is when the elephant is small, the fellow who trains the elephant ties it with the chain. The elephant starts growing because it cannot come out because it's tight. And it's a kind of a slave. But then when it grows, when it becomes big, the elephant can easily break the chain. But having brought up in that mentality of the chain is there, I cannot just break it. That is why even after becoming a big elephant, the elephant stays slave. That is what happening in many of our lives. We become very fast. Any one of the failures, we don't understand the real talent in us, the real kind of energy in us. Somewhere something happens, some mishap happens, we totally get demotivated and we become the slave of the situations. That is why this country has got so much of intellectual resources, but unable to create great business. Now it is getting created because of institutions like this. Because they are trying to instill in you at this stage itself that you can do it. This is what you have to learn, and you have to have a clear, whatever you choose that clear. And the third important thing which I have learned in my life is the self-responsibility and the accountability. When I say self-responsibility, I always take responsibility for the mistakes I committed. I don't put it on to my employees. If a leader is not able to guide the people working down the below, he has to be blamed. And be accountable for all your actions. And if you know that, even if you commit mistakes, you will know how to correct it. This is what you have to very well understand. The fourth one, which I have experienced in my life, is a positive and prospective vision. Anything when I start, I will always have a vision. I will say, even if failures come, I will go back and I will restart. You wouldn't believe, 3 times I went to Delhi and Bombay, I opened my office. Many people cheated me. I said, I never let it go. 5 years back, I went back again. I got the right professionals. Now we are doing one of the best in Bombay, one of the best in Delhi. If I had left at that time, I would not have become an all-India player today. This is what you have to understand. So you need to have a positive and prospective vision. And finally, everyone talks about the self-confidence. You should have the self-confidence, self-belief. Come what may. Anything, let it come. But I will keep fighting. So I hope as management students, this is all I have learned by my experience. What is the first one I said? Please tell me. What is the first one I said? You should have belly fire, that is burning desire to do something. What is the second one I said? The goals, strategies, and roadmap. What is the third one I said? Self-responsibility, and I have to answer it. Huh? See, you're all students of Joe, I said. You should be now, if you want to be a entrepreneur, you have to be proactive. Huh? That's what Warren Buffett says. You listen to people, but make your own decisions. Don't get influenced by people, because he will say this, that will follow. All you take it. But then you make your own decision, which is good for you, which is comfortable, which you keep enjoying in your life. This is what I say. So the last one I said, self-confidence. So finally, I can share a lot of things, but due to the limitation of the time, I would like to tell you one thing. You know very well that Nokia refused Android, and Yahoo refused Google, and they lost out a lot of things. You know why? Because they were not willing to take risks. They were not willing to change themselves. The most important thing as a startup entrepreneur, you must be willing to take risks, and you have to make changes or adapt yourself to the changes. That is very, very, very important. Then you know the successful story of Facebook. who took over WhatsApp and Instagram. Then Flipkart. They took over the Myntra and followed by many other companies. You know why? Today they are very successful because they wanted to become powerful to bring in the competitors as allies. Number two, when you go to that stage, you limit your competition and you can fight well. We get into the comfort zone. And these companies were innovative. This is what happened with my company. After 1992, when the globalization started, I said, India one day will have to get multinational companies into India, and then we need to develop this logistic industry to serve such big industries, such big multinational companies with the comprehensive services and competent services. And that is why I created the entire spectrum of supply chain. By creating this, after 2010, I was eliminating my competitions. I went into the top 3. When I go into the top 3, then my comfort zone is good and I keep winning the contracts, and then onwards, your growth will be much faster. First 20 years, my growth was slow. After that, it became fast because I was eliminating the competition and became innovative. In 1994, I was suggesting to the government, the ports have to be decongested, hence create container freight station which become a self-contained unit. And I was one of the pioneers in the container freight stations. Then I said, we have to create a private air freight stations. We are the first ever air freight station created in India, for which 6 years I was struggling with central government, an innovative concept. No other competitor has done it so far. Then again I said, like international arena logistics players, I wanted to become an AUO status. You will be studying about it, authorized economic operators. Because when you become an authorized economic operator, the onus is on you. You are given so much of powers, like the government officers, that you take the complete responsibility like a government servant. Even customs examinations can be done by you. But in order to attain the stage, you have to have all the comprehensive services, you have to go through the compliances, and your technology levels have to be the highest. And we are the first ever company. There are about 10,000 logistics companies in India. We are the first ever company awarded for all the services as the AUO status by the government of India. This is possible for a student from St. Joseph's College, correct? That is why you should be proud that, so I created or innovated. I kept thinking something different in my logistics field, suggested to the government, having visited other countries, why not this country gets these facilities which would ultimately reduce the overall logistics cost. And today, you are getting all your vegetables for about 100 rupees. If I can do some savings in my logistics cost, your vegetable price will become just 50 rupees instead of 100 rupees. This is what I'm telling the government. These are the areas. Now, on my recommendation, they have created a special cell. They have appointed a special secretary and given to the logistics sector as a special status. And today, this industry is going to grow well. And I appreciate Father Arun that he wants to start this logistics course at this point of time, because there is plenty of opportunities. We require a lot of skilled people and plenty of employment opportunities. And you have national as well as international opportunities. So this is how we have to keep thinking. And so I know also you know that. Another important point you must know, the KFC owner started his business at the age of 65. I know Mr. Ma of Alibaba was refused the job in KFC. And what does it show? It shows that age is only the number. And your spirits are very important. The day you think, I have a plan for tomorrow, then you continue to be young. This is what I've learned in my life. Even today, I keep running. I don't feel tired. It is because I have a plan for tomorrow. Those who become stagnant can never come. So the moment you keep having plans for future, you continue to be young. This is the concept of youthfulness. So you have the spirit, and apart from that, these guys could start even at that age, had so much of willpower. It is because of their continuous efforts and appropriate directions. And the best policy in your life, out of my experience I've learned, never go after your competitors. A person takes revenge will be avenged, which means your success has to do the roaring. And the success is the best medicine for taking revenge against your competitors. This is the positive way of thinking. With all these concepts, with a small story, I hope you are able to understand. Because I am loading with certain important ideas because you are students of again Joe Arun. Of course, for Joe Arun also mentor is Father Kashmir Raj. So you guys have to come out really well, as Father Tamburaj said. Jesuit products, wherever we go, we always stand out. And in the moment I say I am a product of St. Joseph's, I am a product of Loyola, I get a different respect here. And oh, you are a Loyola student. You are from St. Joseph's. Such a great institutions. We are having the opportunity to be here. You see, there was now in our place we call it as Jallikattu. This Jallikattu happens. It creates a lot of issues also here, and it happens everywhere. And in the other countries, it's called bullfight. Correct? Is it a bullfight or not? Now, if you go to Spain or France and other countries, this bullfight is something very close to the Jallikattu. They will push the bull, and everybody will chase, they will hit and then push and so on. And finally, it is the test of your courage. Then you become a courageous person, or whatever you call it. Then there was a person in France, he was loving a beautiful girl. And sometimes, we also see in the movies, if you just able to control a bull, then the father-in-law will, that is person will come and give his girl as a mark of your courage. So the similar thing happened in other countries also. So this fellow was loving this girl, but then the girl called him one day, better you come to talk to my father. Without his permission, I cannot marry. Then he said, okay, fine, I will let me. He made up his mind, and then he went to his father. I love your daughter so much, and I need to marry. Then father said, okay, fine. I have 3 bulls. I will give you 3 opportunities, and you have to catch the tail of the bull, one of the bulls. If you can do that, I know how you are going to take care of my daughter in the future. You are a very courageous person. I will give my daughter. So you took him to his farm. There was a small tent. In that, I think 3 bulls were there. So he told him, I'm going to send the first one. The first bull came out. He saw the bull. It was very big, like monsters. And he stepped aside and allowed the bull to run because he cannot catch. He couldn't catch. Because he knows he has got 2 more opportunities. So then the second one came. The second one was far bigger than the first one. Even though he changed his strategy to stand at the back of the tent and coming and catching, the moment he saw the double the size of the bull, he kept away. Then he has got only 1 opportunity. Then he was waiting. He said, the gentleman said, father said, the girl's father said, it's the Lord's opportunity, don't leave it. Then he's just getting ready. Now he's now said, whatever happens, I have to get this girl married, and I will be ready. I'm going to marry. I'm going to catch it. So I was getting ready to face the challenge, and the bull came out. The bull was very, very weak. He never even imagined such a small, weak bull is going to come. He was very happy. I'm going to catch it. So he jumped, and he found there was no tail in that bull. Dear students, what is the secret of our life is many people we get the opportunities. We always let go the first opportunity, second opportunity, and third opportunity never comes. தமிழ்ல அழகா சொல்லுவாங்க, வாய்ப்புகள் உன் கதவுகளை தட்டுகின்ற பொழுது நீ அப்படியே அதை அபகரித்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்று சொல்வார்கள். The opportunities when it comes, never leave it. And you have the best opportunity in this college to have this program, to do this startup, to think innovatively. And I always tell the youngsters, never wait for the opportunities. Always create the opportunity. And if you do that, that will be the success of life. As Abdul Kalam, our late president, says, if you win without a problem, it is a victory. But if you win with lot of problems, it is the history. I'm sure all students in this great institution will make history in the future. Thank you very much.